Hi, thanks for tuning into High on Horror. This is Drew talking at you.
Damn, Drew talking at you. This John talking at you. This episode and every future episode is dedicated to the horror hounds and smokers out there who want to expand their knowledge of the genre and have a good time.
VHS 99, which is the 5th installment in the VHS series, is now available to watch at the click of a button on Shudder, and we're going to talk about it today on High on Horror. Interviews, reviews, and the latest news all rolled into one. There's not much backstory needed here. I mean, it's a 5th film installment in a franchise, I guess the formula works. Keep running it. But John, break down for us. What are we going to smoke today and why before we start?
I got that last pre-rolled. I mentioned, I can't remember because we recorded them back to back, so I don't remember if it was Halloween Ends or Hellraiser. We smoked Peanut Butter Breath. And I mentioned it was a cross of Mendo Breath.
Yeah.
I have a pre-rolled of Mendo Breath.
Oh, Mendo Breath, okay.
It's an indica marijuana strain made by crossing OGKB. I've never heard of that one. With Mendo Montage. You're gonna need a montage. This strain produces a euphoric high with powerful body effects that help relieve pain and discomfort. Mendo Breath smells like sweet vanilla and caramel. I'm going to call their bluff on that one. We'll find out here. And while it may be tempting to smoke this strain during the day, it's important to save it for after work or before bed. Or I guess before you recorded a podcast.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. Or when reviewing a movie.
Growers say Mendo Breath comes in dense frosty buds and has here's a new one. They're actually telling us how long it takes to flower. 60 days.
Okay. I don't know what that means. No, I'm just kidding.
Your feelings are sleepy, so hopefully we'll stay awake through this. Relaxed and, as always, tingly.
All right.
That's always a weird one.
Let's get tingly.
Negatives, anxious, dizzy, and we all know it, dry mouth. Apparently the flavors are vanilla, which I have never, ever tasted in any strain of weed.
Yeah,
I feel like these people, it's like the same thing, I guess I was talking with Kenny, kind of same thing with like wine. I don't get what you're talking about. This has a fruity aromatic flavor. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, it's getting me high. I don't. Maybe my palate just isn't refined enough to get these extra flavors. That's exactly what it is. It's because we just don't care enough, and we haven't we're just like we just want to get high and enjoy the bud. Like, but there's people. It's just like wine. There's people who, will grab a glass of wine and they're sniffing it and shit, and they're all, oh, this is aged and this is, I'm like, to me, it's just a glass of wine. I have dry notes. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't even know if that's what they say, but it sounds right.
But yeah, like, that's how I feel. It's like wine. There's wine connoisseurs and there's weed connoisseurs. There's people out there that actually look for specific things. It's just like chefs, how chefs will complain about an ingredient being in something or not being in something, when to like the common man, they wouldn't even recognize it, whether it was there or not. I think it's just connoisseurs out there being picky,
Yeah, like I've had wines and I go, oh, this tastes good. I'm not getting like the fruity North California grape taste. Like,
I don't judge my weed on taste. I judge my weed on how high I get. It's like, is it a yeah, I'm pretty high, or is it a holy shit, I'm high? Like, that's how I know,
I feel like you get to a point where there's so much THC that, like, it kind of doesn't matter. So, and sometimes that flavor is a little bit better. Like,
that's true.
I even find it with
I can see that.
Some of the vape carts.
Vapes for sure.
Especially the distillate carts, I feel like have, like, this weird taste to them.
Yeah.
Where, like, I mean, you can get some of the fucking crazy.
Disposable.
Thank you, disposable. Like, I had that one last week, that strawberry cheesecake one. You're like, this tastes fucking delicious.
Yeah, totally. No. For vapes, flavor matters 100%. But with weed, like, people will say, it tastes like peanut butter, and it's like, I just taste weed. It just tastes like smoke to me a lot of the time, So
just pass me the blunt.
Yeah, it's like as long as it gets me baked, that's all I really care about. I mean. It's crazy to think that as long as I've smoked, I haven't become a connoisseur. I never put the effort into actually being like what all the terminology is. It's like I'm like the dude from Grandma's Boy. I'm like, dude, just give me a bag of weed. When he's like, do you want this kind or that kind? I'm like, just give me
every
baked.
once
that's all
in
I care
a while,
about.
But it's also not street weed and it's dispensary weed that I can get something and go, oh, this, like, it has a distinct taste. But I feel like a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
But And definitely street weed all fucking taste the same.
Street weed, dirt
Street weed. It sounds so bad.
It does. Street weed, dirt weed, or Reggie. I love Reggie. It's like that's the term for it now. And all the dudes out there called Reggie now just
Although
basically just be calling them dirt weed by calling them their earth name, their government name. I mean, I said their earth name, covering them by their calling them by their government name. You just call them Reggie. You're just insulting them now.
I was gonna say, might not be funny to people listening, but this one horror group. I think you're in it too. This guy like was so excited to show off his Blu-ray and shared like a jar with his weed in it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I'm like, that looks not look good. And people were just dragging him for like what his weed looked like in the comments.
I didn't see this.
And then he tried to like respond and was like, oh, well, this is the one I've been having sit around. This is the jar with the bigger nugs. And I look at it, I'm like, it looks the same. It's just bigger. And people were like, that shit is brown, dude. Somebody was like, I haven't bought that in like 10 years.
That's that stick weed where you got like all these sticks to it.
Oh, yeah, because somebody was like, damn, you going to get high off them stems?
See, yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah, fucking street people fucking you with stems. Like, goddamn, we've went on like way too long.
Stems and seeds.
Talking
stems
about
and
weed.
Seeds. Yeah.
But I mean, it's nice when we don't always talk about weed this much. So let's get into VHS 99 here. It's just came out, so it's a 2022. It's more of the found footage horror anthology that you've come to love. It's the 5th installment, and it's well, I guess we'll talk about how we like it later, but I mean, 5 installments, you usually end up at this point, I feel like, seeing a downward trend.
Or you end up in space.
Yeah, that's usually like 4. Well, Leprechaun 4. Halloween 4.
Hellraiser 4. I think it was the 4th Hellraiser too. Halloween 4.
So, we got a bunch of different directors here. It premiered in Midnight Madness on September 16th, 2022. It was at the TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival as well. And it now has come to Shudder on October 20th. Usually we go through these and we'll get to a point and we'll kind of cut off for non-spoilers. This is an anthology series, and like the only way we'd be able to do that is literally go through each segment, talk about like half of it, stop, go to the next segment.
And each story is like 20 minutes each.
Yeah,
it's
so
just
like,
not worth it.
It would be really disjointed. So like, if you made it this far and you haven't seen VHS 99, our bad. You should probably get out of here. Like,
unless you care about spoilers, which if you don't
mind it being spoiled,
stick around.
Then, stick around.
But look, we got a screener for this. We got an advanced viewing of this film, but we waited to review it until after it came out.
We're good people.
So everybody would have a chance to watch it before we gave away spoilers, because there's just really no way of really reviewing this movie and to give away any detail without spoiling it. So it's that simple.
Yeah, so if you got to leave, just go get yourself some Subway or something like that.
Subway, eat fresh.
All right, so getting into the plot here, the film is presented as a mixtape of 5 different narratives set in 1999. This one doesn't have a rap story like most of the other ones. VHS 94 did it well. There's some other VHSs that the rap story wasn't that compelling.
Yeah, this rap story is more like a stop motion animation from someone in the 4th segment of the film, The Gawkers. I believe that's to my knowledge, that's how I took it anyway.
I like stop animation. I don't know how you feel about it or how you felt about it used here.
I mean, I like stop animation, but I guess it just felt a little disconnected.
That's fair. So our first story up here is called Shreddin', and it's written and directed by Maggie Levin. I got strong CKY/Jackass vibes from this story. Did you?
Yeah, man, totally. And the thing is,
they're like a band,
right? But
it was like if all of them like formed a band as well, but we're also kind of assholes.
Yeah, and there's that one dude.
I guess some of them are assholes.
There's the one dude in the band, who, like, in that intro video where it shows them all like being jackasses, so to speak. The one guy, Ankur, I guess his name's Anchor.
Anchor, yeah. The whole group's called Rack.
Right.
And it's because all the band names Rachel, Ankur, Chris, and Caleb.
Right, well, it's like Anchor, he's the one that specifically is the one all in the camera being obnoxious, going, I'm a psycho and fucking crazy. And as the story turns out, he's actually the pussy of the group. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and also, So they call themselves RAC, but so they end up going. I don't know what it is this year with like sewers and shit.
Michael Myers, you mean?
Yeah, like underground venues. So they decided to take a break. It's called Colony Underground, and it was a
Right.
music venue that burned down 3 years prior. There was an electrical fire,
Right.
and it was 4 members of a band called Bitch Cat.
Yeah.
There was a fire, and then they ended up dying because they got trampled to death by the people trying to leave.
And Anchor doesn't want to go to the Colony Underground. He's being paranoid because he thinks that that's where you can get possessed by spirits and unrest.
Yeah, it was funny because, like you said, he's supposed to look like the badass of the group, and the whole time, like everybody else is all into it, and
Yeah.
he's just like, nah, like I don't want to be here.
But real quick before we move on, I missed my opportunity to say this when you brought up like CKY and stuff. The band as a whole, to me, reminded me of the zombies on the cover of the Return of the Living Dead. The original cover. How it's like,
yeah,
it's like kind of
yeah,
punk
I
rock
see it.
zombies. I was like, oh shit, okay. Sorry, anyway.
Yeah, no. That's a good point. It's one of those ones where I'm trying to think of. Was I thinking that watching that? Because I mean, like it makes sense. Like
They look just like, because like the zombies on the cover of that movie aren't actually in the movie. They're just like punk rock
Yeah.
zombies standing next to a tombstone.
classic 80s move of putting something on the box cover that has nothing to do with the movie or doesn't happen in the movie.
And yet it manages to be so fucking amazing somehow.
And it's the whole reason that you pick that movie for the weekend to rent from the fucking video store, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Well, you fucked up. That's your movie for the weekend. Enjoy it. Anyway, going back here to the story, the band explores the condemned site. Anchor's feeling, like we said, the most reluctant. He tells Rachel about his fear of Buddha. I think I'm probably
Yeah.
saying that wrong. Well, you know, it was Buddha, but
was
it's
Buddha.
spelled Bhuta.
Yeah, Buta. Yeah.
And when they go on stage to play there, they trick Anchor into believing they're possessed. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was
Even
a
though
good prank.
fucked up.
It was a good
like
prank.
That, I mean, it got me a little bit at first
It
too.
was on the level of them pranking the witch in Trick or Treat in the segment, you know, like at the end when like they act like they're all dead and zombies, the group of kids she's out with.
Yeah.
That it was like a prank on that level, if you know what I mean, if you've seen Trick or Treat.
So he gets fucked up from it, and then all of his friends start mocking him, and he storms off, and declaring that he hopes Buddha gets them. So the 3 remaining members bring out inflatable sex dolls styled after Bitch Cat, and then stomp them to reenact the stampede, which that was just weird.
Yeah.
So-
I agree with that.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, it's a horror movie. We need something. Zombies. Bitch Cat zombies. And they appear and attack the band. They kill Caleb and Chris. Anchor manages to destroy one of them before he gets killed. And then Rachel's finally caught and dismembered, after which the Bitch Cat ghoul toys with Rachel's limbs and torso. The tape glitches out to reveal the reanimated remains of Rack, their limbs tethered like puppets performing on stage. So now they're the
Yep.
they're the dead band.
They're the dead band Curse on stage. I liked it. I liked this one. Thought it was a strong opening. I thought the effects looked good. Yeah, I didn't really have any problems with this one. It didn't blow me away, but I liked it. I don't really have any complaints.
I'm too high because I was trying to think of one of the other VHSs that had like a first one, and it just wasn't a strong one. This one I feel like is one of the better opening stories they've went with.
Yeah, I agree.
I always feel like there's like each one's usually got 1 or 2 that you're just But yeah, what would you give this one out of 10?
This one out of 10, I would probably give this like,
I'd probably give it like a 7.
I was gonna say 7. Yeah, I think I wrote this down somewhere. I think in my journal, but yeah, I gave it a 7. This is a 7, and that would lead us to the next one, which is Suicide Bid, right?
Yes, Suicide Bid, written and directed by Giannis Roberts.
He's the dude that did The Strangers Pray at Night, 47 Meters Down, Resident Evil, Welcome to
See,
Raccoon
I'm one
City.
of the people that like
So-
Strangers Pray at Night.
Catherine Hendricks was in it, so I'm good.
Catherine Hendricks?
Yeah, the redheaded babe
Oh, I
from
thought, it
Mad
was,
Men.
I thought it was Christina.
Oh,
I
maybe
don't
it
know,
is. Maybe it is.
Either way,
Maybe it
that's
is.
why I was in.
But no, she's a good actress and she's easy on the eyes. So and she's a credible actress. So when I saw she was in it, I watched it. She was the best part of it, in my opinion. But I own it.
Yeah, I was going to say suicide bid. I was not aware of this in the whole semester of college I got under my belt. I had no idea what a suicide bid was. But basically, it's when you only apply to one fraternity or one sorority, and that's the only one you attempt to get in. I don't know. I guess it's supposed to make you look like you're more dedicated. I don't know. I never got the interest in wanting to be in a fraternity.
Yeah, right. Me neither.
But so freshman Lily, she's desperate to join the college campus's sorority, Beta Sigma Eta. I don't know. The Greek people out there can correct me. But she records her application. She's interrupted by her roommate, who expresses concern that Lily's doing a suicide bid. And like I said, that's where the applicant only puts in one sorority as their recruitment choice. And Lily decides to apply regardless, and she's invited out with the sorority sisters. I'm not going to go through all their names. But because they end up becoming red shirts, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, spoiler alert. I already said spoiler alert like 10 minutes earlier, so. But the sisters take Lily to a graveyard where she's dared to spend the night inside a buried coffin. Because it was based on an urban legend where another student, Guillotine, I think was...
Guillotine, yeah.
Was dared to commit the same deed, but she got forgotten by her classmates, which I don't know how you forget them for a week and left to die.
Dude, I can't believe that they buried her alive and that she let them. I'd never let anyone bury me alive, but I also don't give a shit to fit into anyone's clique, so there's that.
My fat ass trying to lay in a coffin, man, like, that's going to be uncomfortable. No, I don't need to be in your fraternity. I'm good.
Johannes actually gave the camera to the lead actress in this film.
I mean, she had to. Like, those shots,
Right.
I don't see how... I remember watching that, and I was like, I wonder how they filmed it,
right?
how small of a camera that was, and, like, she's got to move around.
The confined space of it, exactly. Well, that's just it. He actually gave her the camera and forgot to give her any direction. So she's down there in that little space.
I mean, it works.
And didn't know, so he actually they had to stop and rethink how it was going to be shot. He didn't think about like how he would need to direct her while she was in there. But it's like all these small things on set that just happen that you're not thinking of. That's what it is. You plan the big picture, and it's a small little thing that you're like, fuck, I didn't think about that. I didn't think that would be a problem.
Yeah, and it worked out. Like, because I was curious. I didn't know if maybe they had, like... Because it's even shot at an angle, because it's the only way they can get it with, like, the coffin.
Like kind of over the
shoulder. So I didn't know if maybe they had, like, tried to, like, set something in there. And then I was like, yeah, but, like, anytime she's going to move around and shake in this coffin, like... It's going to make the camera move, too. But,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I didn't realize she actually had the camera herself. That's interesting. And so she agrees to be put in the coffin, like you said. And she's given a box that's only meant to be opened if she wants to quit as a means of giving her strength. And she goes inside the coffin with the camera and settles in. And she begins to panic when she hears strange noises outside. She, The whole story is just her going through, should I give up, should I not?
Right.
So this is like kind of the first time she has, and you find out it's the girls just out there like fucking around with her and creating the noise. She rings the quitting bell, demanding to be let out, and the girls just laugh at her, which that's kind of fucked up. Like if they're saying they want out, just take them out.
Yeah, like you're just being a cruel bully at that point.
It starts to rain. And a security guard arrives to investigate the noise, and the girls are scared they're going to get in trouble for hazing, and they just fucking leave. And they agree to come back to get Lily in the morning. And the security guard leaves because the rain's muffling Lily. Like, she's screaming for help, but he can't hear. It kind of reminded me a bit of, like, Prisoners.
Yeah, and I got to say that...
Spoiler alert for that movie.
Allie Lonides, I don't know if I'm saying that right. She did a really good job. Like she was really convincing. It was like kind of heartbreaking watching her like beg. You know what I mean?
And so I was saying back here, she was crying, and her calls were muffled by the rain. The grave starts flooding. That's the one when I was like, oh fuck. Yeah,
man. Like I was gonna say that when the water kind of caved the coffin in. I was like, oh shit, how is this going to get any worse?
Oh, also, I skipped over the one part as she opened the box. I forgot. I skipped over
They gave her that little box that said open in case of emergencies or something like that.
Full disclosure, I've owned these. I've never handled them, but Like, even, like, I was watching and I had to just, like, cringe because she opens it and it's a fucking box of tarantulas. And, like, that's
but
cool.
in that confined space, man.
That's the
like,
problem,
And it was like
is the
8 of them or
confined
10 of
space.
them, dude.
Because, like, I would be fine if they were, like, chilling down by my feet and shit.
Yeah.
But the second they're crawling over top, I would just... Even though, like...
Limited lighting.
I've had those tarantulas, and obviously they're using the more docile ones. I'm sure... I don't know if any of it was practical.
Yeah.
I'm sure them killing them was not practical, but... Like, actual
Hopefully not.
happened. But, like, like they're pretty docile, and it's pretty much like if you freak out, that'll make them freak out. Otherwise, they're not going to attack. But I would still freak out if it like landed on my face or something.
Dude,
They're not poisonous, and like it's just that creep factor of like being on my face or something.
I think that I would have officially died if that was me in the coffin. My heart would have given out. I mean, how cruel is that and just unfucking necessary? See, I'd never want to associate with a group of narcissists like that. I don't know why you would like put yourself through something to fucking be a part of that.
There's practical jokes, and then there's just being an asshole.
Yeah, and then there's just associating yourself with that. Like, I just don't care about looking cool, and I would never... First thing I'd do, if and when I got out of that coffin, is I'm swinging.
You're right. I'm finding somebody. Yeah, so the water starts seeping in the coffin. Lily almost drowns, and then Guillotine suddenly attacks her and breaks into the coffin. I thought the Guillotine or whatever. I like the look of it. Mm-hmm. The next morning, the sisters find the grave flooded, and Lily missing from her coffin. I like how like they both jumped in and like the one like jumps in, swims down, and was like, Lily's not here, and the other one's like, what? And then like she would be lying, and then jumps in herself and searches. I would have just taken the person's word for it.
Yeah, right.
But they do the I know what you did last summer, and they agree never to speak of the incident. Shortly after, they're all awake and trapped in separate coffins.
They just wake up in coffins, yeah.
A demonic Lily appears in Annie's coffin, claiming to have made a deal with Guillotine that she would give her as many victims if it spared her soul. Guillotine then appears inside the coffin, killing Annie, and end of that story.
I mean, so I think that Lily looked really fucking creepy as a zombie. Like, I thought she looked really creepy at the end. Like, I really liked her makeup.
I thought both of them looked good.
Guillotine looked cool at first to me, but then like I think that the camera lingered on him too long. They should have jawsed it, and instead like I think the camera lingered a little too long. And then to me, like the more exposed he was, the more he began to look like a Halloween costume. Like the jaw didn't move, so it just looked so faked. How the face was just frozen like that for such long periods of time. It was actually. It began to look so fake to me that I kind of started to contemplate, like, nah, this is the sorority girls fucking with her with another prank. This is a costume. I thought it was a cheap Halloween costume towards the end. But the story is simple, claustrophobic, creepy, and cost efficient. I dig it. This one's probably my favorite one of the film, actually, and I would give this one a 7 as well.
Yeah, this is... I mean, we said the first one was good. I thought this one was a bit better. What would I give the last one? 7.3 or something like that?
I think you just said 7.
7.
You got to know what you're rating these things, man.
It's all subjective of when you ask me what my rating is.
That's true. A year from now, a month from now, it might be different.
Yeah, because I might see a different movie and go, well, that was better. But
like, I guarantee you, I'm probably going to give this VHS film a rating, and then like say it's like, just saying, I'm going to say it's like the best in the series and give it a rating, and then go back and see that we reviewed the last VHS. I gave it a higher rating than the rating I just gave. Yeah, there's some inconsistencies that'll happen.
I mean,
Joe Bob goes through that. Joe Bob Briggs goes through that all the time.
I was going to say, I feel bad because I'll think about, like, I've never, like, cataloged our ratings, which is probably a bad idea to, like, see how I would rank stuff. And, like, I think about it, and like, I forget what episode you're like, no, you gave that movie a higher rating. And I'm like, what? Well, I got to give this one a low. So I feel like it's Joe Bob. Like I always just, this is why ratings don't matter. When he did Halloween 5, and he just rips it for 20 minutes before the movie starts in a classic like Joe Bob,
rant.
Just monologue,
rant.
And then he gives it 4 stars because he said any Halloween's better than no Halloween. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I would give this probably like a like a 7.6, 7,
Damn, nice.
somewhere around there. I'll go 7.6. All right, now we're getting on to I'll just spoiler alert, my favorite segment in this movie, Ozzy's Dungeon, written by Zoe Cooper and Flying Lotus, and directed by Flying Lotus. That was a tongue twister there. Ozzy's Dungeon is a child's game show where contestants participate in games for a chance to meet Ozzy, who will make their favorite wish come true. I saw Flying Lotus talk about it. I picked up on it right away that it was a cross like Double Dare and Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like, did you watch both of those?
See, I was gonna say like that was what my wife said as well, and I was watching Spookies and other shitty horror films at that time. I wasn't watching
Shout
those
out to our boy
Nickelodeon
Frank.
shows. I wasn't watching those Nickelodeon shows like that. But I do know that Flying the Lotus, he went over every detail with Otto down to the microphone. Like, is this Bob Barker microphone or not, and that type of shit. So I mean, they really went authentic with this one.
But yeah, dude. So you like? I know you had to watch Legends of the Hidden Temple. You said
No, I haven't. No.
Double Dare. Did you watch
Nope.
Double Dare?
Nope.
Dude, Double Dare was amazing.
As far as I went with that shit, I watched American Gladiators, like to a point. Does that count?
Not really. Not really at all the same thing.
Well, anyway, I know your favorite part in this segment was Catch That Meat. You think anyone ever got the meat sweats from playing Catch That Meat?
I
That
don't
shit
know,
seems so
maybe.
unsanitary.
Ozzy can grant their favorite wish. During a taping of an episode, a contestant, Donna, brutally injures her leg while in the final obstacle course. Like, yeah, I never saw that on Double Dare.
It's a brutal leg break, too. Like a
Yeah,
brutal
right?
break.
And it prevents her from being the show's first winner. Years later, the show's host, played by Stephen Ogg. Stephen Ogg plays, like, kind of the same character in every movie, but, like, by God, he's so good at it. Like,
I just realized that I said Otto earlier. I meant to say Og. Fucking Og, damn it.
we got Stephen Ogg, we got Ozzy. Like, there's a lot of O's going on
That's
here.
true. That's true.
But, like, Stephen Ogg kind of, like, he even says he's been kind of typecast. And I read a thing where he said, like, which, I mean, he's got a point. He doesn't mind being typecast. I mean, he would like to do other stuff, but he said, if I'm going to keep typecast and it leads to steady work, then I'll
Shit.
take it. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't turn that down.
But the thing is that we've seen him. He's an asshole in this movie, and we've seen him be an asshole before. He's good being an asshole, but in this
Grand
one,
Theft Auto 5,
you get to
Walking
kind of
Dead.
see like the he's very like sarcastic than this one though. It's more like it's less serious like Walking Dead shit, and more like he's a dick, but in kind of like a Patrick Bateman, like almost like just like a funny. He's funny in a very sarcastic.
It's a mix
way.
of his character from Walking Dead with his character from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, like, he just plays the role so good. And so he wakes up and the host in the basement of Donna's unhinged mother, Deborah. Dude, she's amazing too in this. I love this so much. They're both just so ridiculously over the top. Like, she's like just threatens him so much. The fucking acid, dude.
Dude, Sonia Eddy, who played Rebecca De Mornay on Seinfeld, she always plays characters who snap on people, but this was next level, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, she's just literally walking around with a vial of sulfuric acid, just shaking it around. Like, and then she shows Stephen Ogg, who doesn't believe, like, just in case he wasn't fully aware, like, she throws it, and she tells him, like, she sets up an obstacle course. And her daughter's now confined to a wheelchair with a rotted leg. Like, that shit was disgusting.
Yeah, like cut that bitch off.
And then her husband Marcus helps her with it. They force the host through their own like homemade version, and like it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it looks bad. It looks moldy and shit.
Ugh, he gets cut, and then he's got to climb through shit, and I'm like, this man's getting an infection for sure. But he's forced to compete in a final obstacle course similar to the one that injured Donna. He narrowly fails to complete the course, and Deborah's going to inject him with the acid. And he promises he can take them to Ozzy and have their wish granted. And the group goes to Ozzy's dungeon, and he sees the armed guard at the main entrance. The host leads the group played by Stephen Ogg, leads him into another entry. On the set, they stand before like a large wooden door leading to the cave, and they find Ozzy being worshipped. When Donna makes a wish, Ozzy convulses and gives birth to some kind of like ancient, weird-looking fucking space creature.
A lot of tentacles flailing.
The host and Donna's family suddenly melt like, dude, his face melting off reminded me. That's right. I don't think you've seen him. Indiana Jones.
The Legend of the Hidden Temple, I've seen that scene. I've seen that scene. Where the Nazi dude's face melts.
Yeah, from why can't I think of it? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
They're like that's what I felt like with him, but they melt, and then Donna smiles at the camera as the tape ends.
Yeah, the end didn't make sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to you or not. I was a little confused by the ending of it. It didn't really make sense. That's my only
complaint, but
I mean, yeah, I love the dark, sarcastic humor and the dark turn that it took. It looked so goddamn 90s, man. Everything about it. I love the look of this one. This is the funnest segment of the movie for me. I give this a 7 as well.
The host and Donna just like steal their scenes that they're in together. Like,
100%.
It's just so over the top, but like, dude, I was fucking laughing. I was horrified. Like
grossed out.
Yeah, like grossed out. Like I said, like he gets cut, and then like he's literally like crawling through shit.
Like some like wet with like, some like wet shit at that.
Yeah, with just like a giant ass wound.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And I don't know if you noticed, I'll give you a little knowledge, Nug. The Veggie Masher segment.
Yes.
Has a little brief appearance at the beginning of the segment.
I did notice that. It was kind of weaseled in there. If you notice it, you notice it. If not, you know. If you know, you know.
I'll give this one like 8. I fucking love this one.
I give this one a 7 as well, but yeah, this one was good.
And then I feel like we go from the peak, we go down a little bit here. The Gawkers, written by Chris Lee Hill, Tyler McIntyre, and it was directed by Tyler McIntyre. This one, tell me this didn't have American Pie vibes to it.
It was American Pie and Suburbia. That's a Shia Buff movie.
Oh, Disturbia?
Disturbia, yes. So
I guess I could see that in a way. Like,
It's like I thought it was like a marriage of both of those.
Because, we'll get to like through the one. Just I was like, this is 100% like.
Oh, of course,
American
the camera
Pie.
part of it, yeah.
So Brady's a young boy. He filmed stop motion of his toy soldiers, as we saw in the. I guess it's not really a wraparound, but he's the one doing all the stop animation with the soldiers we see, and from the in between segments. He has with his older brother Dylan's camera, and Brady records a video, and Dylan bursts into the room and takes the camera. He and his friends Kurt, Mark, and Boner.
Yeah, Boner.
Yeah, exclude Brady from the group. They discover a large patch of dead snake skins near a field, and Tawn and Boner to eat it. After using the camera, they spy on 2 girls. They become fixated on Brady and Dylan's beautiful new neighbor across the street, Sandra, whose house is decorated with several stone busts. As the boys film her from Brady's window, they're shocked to discover that he's befriended him while out roller skating. They were very jealous, and then this is where the like American Pie aspect comes in. So Brady comes back. They all beg him like for information, and he mentions that he's going to be going over to her house because she just got a Macintosh computer delivered, and she wants him to help like set it up. So his friends and his brother convince Brady to set up a webcam in Sandra's room, which they'll use to like hopefully get to see some titties.
Yeah,
but this was 100% American Pie.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew. Yeah, this was Jim blowing his load on the internet.
But Brady agrees, but not like
he ain't happy about
very
it.
easily.
Yeah.
He's very reluctant to help. So he goes over to Sandra's. He's almost nearly caught, but he still is able to install the camera, and he feels bad about it pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Because he says he's betraying her trust. And his brother and friends don't give a fuck. Like I said, they want to see her naked, and she starts undressing, and Brady decides to leave the room. I mean, you made it that far. Wait, that's probably not the right thing to say. Good job, Brady. The boys are horrified to witness Sandra rip off her scalp. As surprise, she a Gorgon, doc.
Yeah, man, she goes full
That ain't
Medusa.
no hot woman. That's fucking Medusa.
Yeah, she goes full fucking Medusa.
So then her hair's made of snakes, going back to the snake skin we saw in the woods.
Yep.
Do you think she just like goes out to the woods like she knows it's shedding time?
Yeah.
And then like she sheds and then just walks back home?
Just slips out and goes home, yeah.
So yeah, her hair's made of snakes and she a Gorgon. And she notices what the boys are doing through the window and just rushes to their house. She breaks in, attacks them. Dylan's friends are killed. As Dylan flees, Brady arrives and attempts to reason with Sandra, apologizing. But Sandra turns him to stone, like a good Gorgon. And after which she kills Dylan and also petrifies him as the tape comes to an end. So now we know what those stone busts were.
Yeah, I like that we know now like why she had those statues in her yard, turning people into stone, obviously.
This one went down a little bit. I feel like the beginning was a little slow. Maybe with like the bullying from his brother and friends.
Yeah.
But I get why we established it, but like... yeah, I thought the beginning was a little slow. I would give this one probably like a 7.4.
Oh, damn. I didn't care for Medusa's look. I really didn't like for the look.
I was actually excited. I was like, "That's cool." They went with the Gorgon in this one.
I kind of like. I wanted to be excited. I think using Medusa and doing that whole thing is cool. But I just wasn't a fan of the way it was done here. I wasn't a fan of this one. I give it a 5. I just kind of was waiting for the next one to. I was waiting for the next story.
You hated it that much? Huh?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that you were that high. We're different on that one.
I enjoyed it. To be fair, taken as a whole, this, I guess it's spoilers because we haven't got there, but like, this is probably one of my favorite VHSs, like overall.
Oh, the movie? Yeah, I would agree with that, but I think like every VHS, there's some, not every one, I don't like every one of them, and this one was one of the ones I did not care about, like one of the story segments, I mean.
We are at the final one here, and this is, to me, like the beach one was, like with the... in the original VHS. They went to the beach. I'm trying to remember. It was like Invisible.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I kind of felt the same way about that one that I felt about this one. It was okay.
Yeah, this one was actually written and directed by Vanessa and Joseph Winter, and they're the team behind Deadstream, which also stars Melanie Stone, which she's in Deadstream as well. And I like Deadstream so much better than this. I really like Deadstream. That's on Shudder now. If you're intrigued by horror comedies, check it out. Go to our website and read my review on it. This was like such a drop in what I expected from them after seeing Deadstream. This was my least favorite one of the movie.
It was my least favorite, but it had like some of my favorite moments, and it's all Melanie Stone though. Like her parts,
she's
like
funny.
She's so good at this.
Dude, yeah.
Like, okay, so we'll get into it here. It's New Year's Eve. Nate and Tony, they're filming a ritual. They're videographers, where a woman called Kristen is offered as a vessel to an entity called, I think it was Ukaban.
Yeah.
And Nate's skeptical of the whole ritual. The group of witches performing the ritual state that while they call to the entity, they will not actually summon Ukaban until the stroke of midnight, when the veil between earth and hell is at its thinnest. It's like every good Halloween.
Right.
As the ritual begins, an uninvited demon called Furcus, I'm always bad at names, appears in the room. As the witches cast Furcus out, the demon grabs Nate and Tony and drags them into hell. That's gotta suck, man. You just show up, you're trying to film.
You just get pulled into hell.
You don't even believe in this, and next thing you know, you in hell, like Constantine style. So obviously they're in hell, so it's going to be a lot of fucked up shit they're seeing. And that's horrific creatures and sights. Nate and Tony attempt to escape, and they cross paths with Mabel, played by Melanie Stone, who decides to help them escape by leading them to Ukaban. So they have to trek across hell. Nate and Tony, they just encounter a whole bunch of more creatures and confuse Mabel with their modern ways of speaking.
She's totally their golem.
Yeah.
Tell me she's
it's
not.
But yeah, it's so entertaining. Like she does such a good job. Eventually, the group enters a cave where they find Ukaban preparing to enter Kristen's body. A group of cultists attack them, but Nate and Troy manage to kill them. Like, it's funny, you see him like going around with this like tiny ass, like looks like flimsy ass trident, but he's just fucking murking people with it now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it to go that way, of them just all of a sudden just killing everybody like it was Willy's Wonderland.
Picking people off, yeah.
With midnight approaching, Nate and Troy shout to Mabel to come with them. She tells him not to forget to write her name in the Conjuring book before being stabbed by a demon. The two friends jump inside Ukaban just as the ritual commences and appear back on Earth. Nate's soul is now in Kristen's body. Furious, the witches kill Nate and Troy before arguing with one about the ritual. And with Troy's dying, he does what Mabel asked and writes her name in the book used to summon Ukaban with her blood before the tape ends. And the tape like glitches out and it goes back to Dylan and Brady from the previous segment, still frozen as the camera's battery runs out. And during the credits, you can actually hear the witches. They're performing a new ritual, this time calling Mabel's name. So she finally got her name in the Book of the Witches.
Nice.
Which is all she wanted all along. Which, that part of the story was entertaining to me. Mm-hmm. The Nate and Troy part, not so much.
Yeah, man.
The Mabel part was great. I enjoyed her. She was
agree.
100% Gollum. Like,
Yeah, she was the best part about the segment. The creature effects looked cool, but the CGI looked terrible. I give this one a 5 as well. So my overall rating of the film was 7 for 3 of them and a 5 for 2 of them. So add that up and divide it. That gives you a 6.2 out of 10. That's my rating. 6.2 out of 10.
Hated it.
Well, no, I liked 3 of the segments, but I dislike 2, so it's easy to just break it down like that.
I give this one like a 6.
Okay.
I just really didn't like that. All my other ones were around the 7s and 8s. So I ain't doing math. Fuck math. Overall, taking it as a whole, I'd give this like a 7.9.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I really like, even though I gave it a 5, like, it's still better than some other segments I've seen in other VHS movies. Like, I feel like this one as a whole was pretty solid.
I liked it. I did like it as well. I thought that the 3 that I liked in this one were like really good. To me though, man, VHS 2 is still the best one. That alien segment in that one, man, and the suicide pact one, like VHS 2 to me is the one that I'm always like hoping that the next VHS film's better than, because it's like that to me is the measuring stick of the whole franchise.
Now, let's talk about this. It was officially announced we're going to have VHS 85. So this one was supposed to be like the end of the VHS era, and it was supposed to be the final days of the VHS. But now we're going to go back again. And on its face, it's just like, why? But have you seen the list of directors announced for it?
Yeah, actually, but why don't you go ahead and list them off?
David Bruckner,
right?
Scott Derrickson, Gigi Guerrera, Natasha Kermani, and Mike Nelson. Like, Bruckner and Scott Derrickson are in. Like,
dude, isn't that awesome that Scott Derrickson hasn't lost who he is? He's not like, oh, I'm Mr. Black Phone and Doctor Strange. That he actually would do a segment on a fucking VHS movie. Like, I love Scott Derrickson so much, man.
It's supposed to come out next year, so like, guaranteed. If you're listening, just put us in line for the next for the next screener for the next one.
And I don't mean to sound biased, but I'm going to be biased. Mark it right now. I'll come back and listen to this episode in a year from now. Scott Derrickson's segment's going to be the best segment.
I mean, you're not going out on a limb. I mean, sure, anybody can always have the best segment, but if you're just probably looking on paper, it's got to be him or David Bruckner.
Yeah.
Like, but that's exciting that they're going to do that. So I'm already looking forward to it.
Shit, just go to 10 at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they've already done 5. Go to 10. Do a 10 piece.
Did you see? Originally, this wasn't going to be VHS 99.
No.
Apparently, Goldblum revealed that the first pitch to Shudder by the producers was a film set during Christmas called VH Xmas.
Oh, shit, okay.
And as well as a film set during medieval times, Shudder rejected those pitches in favor of VHS 99.
Dude, actually, VH Xmas is brilliant. That title is amazing.
It also sounds like a porno.
I mean, hey man, everybody's got to get their jollies off.
Fair enough. Thanks to all the horror hounds and smokers out there for tuning in.
Thank you kindly.
So, hopefully you enjoyed VHS 99 as much as we did. And join us next week. We're going to have our Halloween episode.
Yes, it's Halloween, baby, on High on Horror.
2 witches. I mean, what else is more Halloween than witches, right?
Fuck yeah.
We're going to have actress from 2 Witches, Rebecca Kennedy, and director, writer, and composer, right?
Yeah.
Pierre Sigaritis. So, follow us online, High on Horror 420 at gmail.com. Actually, no, that's our email. Jesus Christ, I'm high. High on Horror 420 at gmail.com. That's our email. Send us your puff ass questions. High on Horror 420. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else am I missing? Twitter. That's all of them.
Yeah.
There's way too much social media these days. And you can also go to our website, highonhorror.com, sign up for our newsletter, get our latest episodes and guest announcements sent directly to your inbox. And I guess we'll see you all on Halloween. Catch you later.
Bye, everybody.